Well, hello and welcome to my latest weekly video news from Madison's. First of all, I'm so sorry that I didn't post one last week. For those of you who follow our Instagram account, you'll know that my husband and I are in the depths of a house build, and we were due to move in last Friday. We did not. Had to delay it because the trade's pretty much finished on Friday evening. There's still a couple of rooms that need to be painted, but a lot of the really big messy stuff was done. The house was just unbelievably dirty. I couldn't bear to do it. And we've got a few other key things happening this week. So we're moving in this Friday. So on Thursday evening, I'm going to go to the house and film a few short videos to show it without me rabbiting on in its kind of finished glory. And before we move in, I'm quite a private person, so I'm not good at showing all that kind of, this is my space and where I live. So I'll show you some videos when it's done, and then it'll be an end to the Deborah building blog update. So I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to record my vlog last week, but I have to go to site every morning really early and have lots of long chats, and in the mornings when I record this vlog, so I just didn't get a chance. So anyway, here I am again. What's been going on? Well, of course, the biggest news, base rate was held the same. It was following a surprise fall in inflation. So 6.7% for July, inflation sat at. That's a sixth consecutive fall inflation in a row. Doesn't mean that prices are going down, just means they're not rising as quickly. But that gave the Bank of England a very difficult decision. So it was a really, really tight call that they've basically met for the last 2 years, and for over those 2 years, for 14 times in a row, rates have gone up. So big decision not to increase rates, but felt with those inflation figures that they could start to temper it a bit. That's not to say there won't be other rate rises coming. I don't think that's certain for 1 minute yet. And it was a very, very close call on the Monetary Policy Committee and voting for it. What's it done to mortgage rates? Well, if you've got a 60% loan to value or up to a 75%, indeed, you could get a 5-year fixed at 4.94%. So that's the first time rates have dropped below 5% for quite some time for those sort of fixed rate deals. Average rate is 5.58, 2-year fixed at 6.11%. First-time buyers, obviously a big part on the market, they are looking at 5.58% average at the moment. They tend to have smaller deposits, so tend not to get quite the good rates. So their average repayment is £1,194 against £1,048 this time 12 months ago. So yeah, mortgages feeling a little bit more comfortable, and let's see how that filters through to the market. Of course, we're in the autumn market now. It's got off to quite a slow start, I would say, actually. I do think there's often kind of a bit of hype to get your house on the market for September, but I think for a lot of families, they're getting their kids back to school and getting settled in the routine. So it does tend to be, I feel, towards the end of September that the autumn market starts to gather any real steam. And indeed, house price growth just up 0.6% for the 12 years to the end of August. So it'll be interesting to see what that September market does to it. Still a sign that sellers have got to be realistic with their pricing, got to be prepared to negotiate, and buyers have got to stop offering quite so low. I've got one property for sale at the moment. I think I'm about to go to seal bids on it. So there is still plenty of appetite out there in the market. It is a beauty, I have to say. Just on that though point, interesting report that I read was about the work from home. So of course during the pandemic, that was one of the biggest phenomena of the pandemic, wasn't it? This rise in work from home. I think before the pandemic, if you were doing a work from home day, no one really took it very seriously, but with the pandemic it certainly became the norm, and it resulted in a lot of people being able to move away from their workplace they don't have to do so much commuting, and now that's kind of rebalanced a bit. There's more flexible working, so most employers would expect their staff to be in a number of days each week, and then working from home on some of them. That's certainly the norm. But interesting data that came out. Castleforge did a poll, and they asked people how they felt about working from home. So it actually went out to people. 44% of people said they felt less productive, cited interruptions from deliveries, hanging the washing out, children, neighbours. all sorts of things. Does mean 56% feel they're more productive. Let's not miss that important fact. 35% said they felt socially isolated, and 55% felt there was a greater opportunity for promotion if they were in the office. That rose to 63% amongst the 18 to 24-year-old age group. And I think that's right, isn't it? When you want promotion, you're putting yourself out there, showing what you can do. So yeah, interesting. Many people said they found it quite challenging to work from home in terms of being able to quickly bounce ideas off, get input from other senior colleagues. So lots of advantage to being in the office, but there's no doubt that if employers want to entice people back to the office more, they've got to offer incentives. There's talk of tech companies now offering hotel stays, because if you don't like your commute and they can get over that, then they'll put you up in a hotel. So we're probably seeing that somewhat out here in the regions, because a lot of people bought out of town, and we're seeing that now they actually do need to be closer to amenities, railway stations, etc. But if you do want a property with really great rural seclusion and definitely the opportunity to work from home, how about this wonderful property, Littlebrook? It's situated between Crowborough and Groombridge, so beautiful area, outstanding natural beauty, and it is spectacular. It's a really gorgeous listed farmhouse with lots of outbuildings, swimming pool, wraparound parkland grounds, and down a lovely long secluded drive. So if work from home is for you and you need some seclusion and a work from home office space, that's the one, on a guide of 1.5 million. Well, I hope you have a lovely week. This time next week, I will have moved. And I look forward to telling you all about that. There's a blog actually we've just produced all about my thoughts on building a house, so do check that out. Have a great week. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.